The mining villages in the west of Scotland made Bill Shankly. He said he had a choice, work down the pit or play professional football. It was no choice. He loved football. Self-belief drove Shankly. He won a Cup Winners' Medal with Preston and played for his country. Enthusiastic and determined, he was a natural for management. Liverpool was slumbering in the second division when Bill Shankly arrived, a nothing club going nowhere. He gave them ambition, he brought them passion. The city was about to become the centre of the universe. Liverpool FC was about to become the biggest name in the history of British football.
Precious moments in the land of never, I met her once upon.
Shankly got off to a good start. He signed Ian St John and Ronnie Yates.
I asked him, I said, you know, whereabout is Liverpool? And I meant, whereabout in the country is Liverpool? And he immediately came up, you know, we're in the first division in England, son. And it took me aback, you know, and I said, I thought you were in the second division. He says, we are at this moment. He said, but when we sign you, he says, we'll be in the first division next year. Now, how could you fail to sign for anybody who had so much faith in you and hadn't seen me kick a ball yet? You know, and it was amazing, the man, he really was.
Well, Ronnie Yates, his coming, along with Ian St John, around the same time, was the very beginning of Liverpool's rise. And they did more for the rise than anybody else. Yates at the back, St John at the front.
Not only did Liverpool win promotion, but in 1964 they went and won the Football League. They clinched it with a 5-0 win at home to Arsenal. Next season, they would play in the European Cup. Shankly could read men. He knew how to motivate and inspire them, and how to keep their feet on the ground.
He came out about 10:30 and said, come on boys, we're playing five-a-side, you know. Great, you know. 3 bin wagons pull up outside the main gates, and like 14 bin men got out of these 3 bin wagons. One of the lads said, hey boss, I think we're going to have to go and empty the bins with the bin men. And he said, no, I said, that's not the bin men. He said, that's the opposition. And we played 14-a-side against them. And we played until we won, you know. And he used to say, we'll beat them again, you know. And 40 bin men going off to it. They never won a game for 2 years while I was there.
Shankly prepared his team for the rigours of Europe with a pre-season tour of America.
The thing about Shanks is that he observed his own British ways, and one of the things was he wouldn't change the time on his watch. And they were in New York, and Shanks said to Bob, I must go and see Jack Dempsey's bar. So Bob said, aye, we'll only do get a taxi, like, and go and have a see him, like. And anyway, they're in there, and they've only been there about an hour, and they're having a great time, and Shanks is looking at all the memorabilia around the place, and he says, right, Bob, I'm off to bed. So Bob said, what are you doing? Blinking 9 o'clock. He said, it's bloody 2 o'clock in the morning now, and yo Yank's telling me the time. And stormed off. And on the same tour, he would stick up team sheets at 3 in the morning.
It was funny, you know, we'd got Reykjavik and everybody saying, where the hell's that, Reykjavik? You know, and the trip was unbelievable, really. You know, we had to go from Liverpool to Manchester, Manchester to London, London by plane to Prestwick in Ayrshire, and of course Shanks comes from Ayrshire, and he was me, you know, his chest was out, you know, he said, I've hired a bus. It's a lovely place. He said, you'll really enjoy it. I said, where are we going first? He went, we're going to see Buckland's holiday camp. So, you know, I've got 16 mopeds behind me going, Butland's what? And he marches out the bus and we all piled out after him and we'd got our suits on, we were immaculate. And he gets to the fella, he goes, Bill Shankly, manager of Liverpool Football Club, en route to Iceland. And the fella went, I think you've taken the wrong road, sir. Oh, no joke. And I could have fell down laughing at the time and he went, I daren't tell you what he said to the fella. We all marched back into the bus and back to the airport, you know.
A few intrepid supporters decided to make their own way up to Iceland for that first ever game.
We got to go to Scotland to fly across King's Presby. Small plane it was, because no one had ever flown in his life then. It was like a little fishing village, it was like, you know. I thought when I got there, they were all Eskimos. I know, it's laughable. But, you know, being up there, we thought they were all Eskimos. And when we got there, we had a... because they're all the same as us. And we couldn't believe it.
Liverpool gave Reykjavik their expected lesson. But nobody thought it would be the start of 20 unbroken years in Europe. Shankly now changed the kit. All red made them look bigger, stronger, better.
The patch of green grass is the most stunning thing about football. I mean, I think that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with them so much. They look like nasturtiums, you know, red on a green background, burning red on a green background. And I mean, at the time, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking how wonderful it is to be here.
Shankly gave the new strip its debut against Anderlecht, the Belgian champions.
Anderlecht were a formidable team, and Joe Mercer rang Shanks and he says, Bill, he said, I've just seen this Belgian team, the Belgian international team, draw with England at Wembley. It was a 2-2 draw, and he said, they've got 8 of this Anderlecht team in the side. You're going to have some game. There's some side. Shanks says, thanks for the warning, Joe. I'll remember that. Anyway, night of the game, players all around. He says, right, boys, he said, you've nothing to beat tonight. They're a load of rubbish. Off they go. Win 3-0. Come in. And he says to them, congratulations. You've just beaten one of the best teams in Europe.
Liverpool beat Anderlecht again in Brussels. It was a convincing victory. In the quarter-final, they would play Cologne. After 2 draws, the tie would go to a replay. Jeff Walker saw the match end all square again. It was decided on the toss of a coin.
We'd fought out these 3 draws with Cologne, and were very well matched, the teams. It seemed a shame either of them had to go out, really. And it was very muddy in the centre. They were tossing up.
I must admit, I said to myself, get in quick, Ron. I said, I'll have tails, referee, you know, before he asked. And he went, yeah. I said, Liverpool tails, Cologne heads. Up it went, and it come down, and I couldn't believe it. You know, it stuck in a divot on its side.
And then you saw them bent down, and the other side were jumping up and down.
And we were trying to blow over the tails by now. And, of course, the German captain was trying to blow over the heads. And he had more puff than I had. And it was coming over the heads. And I said to the referee, I says, you're going to have to retoss the coin. And he went, you're right, Mr. Yates. And he picked it up. And I thought, great. You know, up it went again.
So my eyes were glued because the reaction we'll get is from the team, are they? You know, they'll be leaping in the air, all their heads will be down. And fortunately, they were leaping in the air.
Came down tails. And I could see Shanks there, you know, because I could see the teeth. You know, you always knew when he was happy, you know, you could see this white teeth. You know, and I was fessed off, you know, and he pointed his finger, he went, well done, big man. He said, what did you pick, by the way? I said, I picked tails, boss. He went, tails? He says, I'd have picked that myself. And he just walked away. I couldn't believe it. I was waiting for the adulation.
If you supported Liverpool, life didn't get any better than this. Promotion, the league, and now victory in the FA Cup. The first time in the club's history.
First blood of the match went to Roger Hunt. Billy Bremner equalised. The game seemed back where it started. Liverpool were lasting better than their opponents. St. John made no mistake this time.
And a semi-final against Inter Milan still to come. Shankly's ambition for the club knew no boundaries.
My idea was that to build Liverpool into a bastion of invincibility, you know, like Napoleon had that idea. He would conquer the bloody world, you know. And that's what I wanted, that Liverpool would be untouchable. My idea was to build Liverpool up and up and up until eventually there would be, everybody would have to submit, give in.
After having the emotional game at Wembley, which drained everybody, you know, to take on the might of Inter Milan was the night of nights. And I know there's been great nights at Anfield, but I think people of our generation would look back on it and say that was the night. That was when we really come of age, and the club come of age.
Our ground was full at 5:30. You could not get in. You know, when our bus came in, you know, there was just nobody outside of the stadium. They were all inside.
Shankly pulled off this master stroke of having the two players who weren't going to be playing that evening running round before the match with the FA Cup, which, of course, this was the holy grail at Anfield. The people had gone out and died waiting for Liverpool to win the FA Cup. And this was the first sight of it at Anfield. Of course, the reception was absolutely tremendous. This was just before the kick-off.
Strong. Here's number 7, Callaghan. Hunt, the goal. A great goal by Hunt.
It was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. There was steam coming off the cop, and the hairs on my neck still stand up when I talk about the Milan game. I mean, we got out there, we didn't know really nothing about Milan. We knew they were a good side, we knew they were Italians. Shanks never put any fear in us in any shape or form. He just said, get out there and enjoy it. We've won the cup. We showed the Italians how to play. We had a goal disallowed. We beat them 3-1. We murdered them.
Everyone back in defence now. Hunt, Sean Callaghan, he's done it.
If you'd plugged in your electric razor, you could have had a shave on the power that had been generated by the sheer fervour and passion that it was this great explosion of Merseyside mania.
It's Strong going on his right. Hunt is onside. Yes. A great save as St. John has scored. And that could put Liverpool in the final.